So like an example would be like the chord that we had. Let's say go ahead and pick a place, any place to play it. Like put your pinky on whatever fret, either high E or yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. All right. No, I was gonna say what do you got it on there? 15th fret, is that where it is? All right, cool. You know what? Let's try a little. Let's try doing it on the 16th fret. And the reason I thought, well, you know, it would be kind of cool if we're gonna try moving bass lights around. It'd be nice if we could try open strings and stuff. So now that we have this here, our lowest note is the 12th fret, which means we could drop this whole thing an octave. Maybe like this. So that'd be 1st fret, 3rd fret, open B string, and then the 4th fret. Open B. Right. And that's 1 octave below the shape. Right? Okay. And now let's experiment. Let's look around at some of our open strings for a minute. Could we play this with an open low E? That's right. The G sharp's a 3rd, so that means that we could, right? It would be an E major 7 chord or something in its place. We have a major 7, we got a 3rd, we have the 5th, the B, and we have our sharp 11. Yeah. Maybe think of it like this. Imagine if you had a bass line that just went. Maybe then, like, you know, you got your kick drum or your. And then arpeggiating guitar. Oops, my bad. Yeah. You know, that gotta be really hip. Let's see what else we could do. Like, you know what? Let's just walk up bass lines, the notes, and see if it works. Could we do an F? If we did the F, what notes we would have? We have the flat 7. We'd have a 4. So it'd be like maybe a 7 sus. And then we'd have the B, which would be a flat 5. So we'd have a 4 and a flat 5. So that's starting to get kind of ambiguous. Like, what is that? And then we have a flat 9. So in this sense, can we do it? Like physically, yeah, we can do it. Not necessarily. It could sound really cool. It's just, what would you call it? I don't know. It's a minor 3rd with a flat 7. So it's like a minor 7 chord, but then it has a flat 5. So it's like a minor 7 flat 5. Okay, that makes sense. But then it has a 4 in it. So it's like a minor 11 flat 5. So that's what it would be, you know? So there's that. It's not one of the options that we had previously learned. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Something's not right. Another man. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. I like putting a personality on a sound, that's for sure. Okay, so what if we did F sharp? What would that be? let's take a look at them, right? The most obvious one, right, is our pinky. That's a 9, right? It's a whole step up from the root, so that'd be a 2 or a 9. And then we have the open B string. That's going to be a 4, a sus4 sound. So far we have a 2 and a 4, so it sounds like a sus chord. Alright. Then we have the third fret of the G string. And the third fret is the third of the chord. So that means it's not a sus chord because we can't have a third. So instead this is going to be, a major chord with an 11, or a 9 rather, and an 11. So this would be, so far, it'd be an F sharp major 11 chord. Or, well, yeah, we don't know about the 7 yet, so we'll have to talk about that in a second. Next we have a 6, right? Yeah, 6. So if we looked at this, we'd have our root and a third, really no 7. So you couldn't technically call it an 11 chord or a 9 chord because you need a 7 for that. So it would be like an F sharp. It's major triad essentially. There's no 5th in it, but it's sort of implied. We have the 9 and 11 and a 13. So it's all of our scale tones, right? So it's kind of like if you took the scale tones and put them together, you'd have a G sharp minor chord. The 2, the 4, and the 6. So what we have now is like, you could look at it. There's a whole triad in there of G sharp minor, but we don't have a whole triad for our F sharp chord. We just have a root and third. So it might be perceived as as a G sharp minor chord, even though this is our low note. If this were the case, our low note becomes the 7. So we would have a G minor, a G sharp minor, a G sharp minor 7 chord, plus the third fret of the G string would be a 9. So G sharp minor 9 is probably what this is actually going to sound like, even though our low note is the F sharp. I would say this is most likely going to be perceived by the listener as a G sharp minor 9 third inversion. But you could potentially hear it as like an F sharp major 11, you know, with the 5th omitted. The 5th would have been C sharp. Okay, so let's see what this shape works, or what the shape is if we have a G under it. So it'd be like this. What would that be? Let's just look. We have to look at all the notes individually. What would the highest note be in relation to the lowest note? No, because we went from F sharp up to G. So that's going to be a flat 9 or flat 2. I do have I am looking at it as though the G is the root, just for now, to see what we got. So that would be pretty messy, right? That's a root and a flat 2. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's add the B string. That's in there. Well, the B, if I go, what is that B in relation? That's maybe a long way to think. You go, well, yeah, it's the third, exactly. So what we have now is a root and a third and a flat 9. So maybe this is some kind of dominant chord, right? Like an altered chord. Root, third, and flat 9. So anyway, next we have the minor third on the third fret of the G string, right? Now we can't have a minor third and a third, so this we would call a sharp 9. So now we have like our root, and we have a flat 9, third, and sharp 9. So this could still work as an altered chord. All right, and then our index finger is supposed to be on the first fret of the D string. Sharp 5, exactly, sharp 5. So, yeah, that means that we have sharp 5, sharp 9, flat 9. These are all altered tones, and the only chord tones we have is a root and a third. So this could be used in place of a dominant chord. So this could be like a G7 altered, right? This was probably in the book, actually. I'm not sure, but anyway, the point is, like, if you're trying to play an altered chord, like a functioning dominant chord, yeah, you could just go up one fret from the root and play your shape. So, like, say if we had an A altered chord, you could go up a fret and play that shape. Then, you know, 5-1 type thing. 5. And 1, you know, so you can use it as a dominant chord that way, dominant altered. All right, so just to do a quick recap so far, we have an E major 7 because the high note's on the third. We have whatever that really bizarre one was, a flat 5 with a sus or with an 11 and a flat 7 and a minor third, so like a minor 7, minor 7 flat 5 with an 11, so it'd be like a minor 11 flat 5. That's if we start from the minor third. That's kind of cool. A little complex in the mind. So then we have the F sharp as the root. And that one works really nice. We can hear that as a major 11 chord with no 5th and no 7th. Just omitted the 7th. Or as a yeah, I guess we should just look at it that way for now. The other option was the G minor one, the G sharp one. So then after that, we moved up to the G sharp, the G, and that's where our pinky was on the G sharp, and that works for an altered chord. So next we would have a G sharp, right? And this one is like one that we've learned. That's like where we use our shape, pinky on the root. So that's obviously minor. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's not. The way we played this before is we just played the high notes and recognized that this is a minor chord because our pinky's on the root. Right? It applies to our old rules. Okay. So next, our option would be an A. If this were an A, what kind of chord do we have? What is that? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at it from the low note up. We got an A, we got a flat 5, we got a flat 9, and then we have an ordinary 9, a 2, Yeah, it's ordinary 2. So we had like our root, flat 9, flat 5, ordinary 9. And then up top we had a major 7. So this one to me, pretty much, unless I'm missing something, it's just noise. Just a mess. Unless I'm missing something really abstract, but I don't know. I'm gonna go for now. I'm gonna say this is nothing. Let's try the first fret. What if we had the A sharp as our low note? That sounds a little more consonant. If this is our chord, then we have a root, a 4, a root again, and then we have a flat 9. And that would be a flat 7. So this one, this wouldn't fit in any mode. There's no mode for this. If we barred, then it would fit Mixolydian, right? Because the flat 9 would become a 2 or 9, and we'd have everything would fit within the Mixolydian mode. But instead we have this flat 9, so it doesn't fit. Cool. Although this may be a useful chord to know for. A sharp 7 sus. You could, because the 7's on top and not the sus, you could actually finish with it. Like if you had a song that went like, I don't know, maybe this, I don't know if this will work, but like a blues where you had like a 4, 5, and then 1. Did that right? Yeah, 4, 5, 1, or 5, 4, and then you go to your 1. And instead you do, with the 7 on top. And maybe and then you do without the 3rd, you do a 9. And then you do without the 5th, you do the 4. And you've got that shape we just learned, I don't know if it works really in that context, but it does seem usable to me. It seems pretty cool. Anyways, but that's a little extracurricular because we need that open B string to check our shape out. Next we have the B. Now the B, that's one of the ones we learned. That's where our pinky's on the 6th of the chord. So this works for major 7s. Alright, let's move on to the C. This one's kind of neat. That's our minor skeleton, remember? And then we have the open B, which is going to be a major 7. And that's harsh because we already have a flat 7 in here. And then our pinky's playing a flat 9, and nothing has a major 7. Nothing has a 7 and a flat 7. So this is kind of already ruled out from being like, something diatonic. But even if so, we have that flat 9, which would make things harder. So now let's do C sharp. Now this is where our pinky would be on the 5th, right? So if our pinky's on the 5th and we do the shape, it's going to work for a dominant chord. Right, now that's obviously pretty loose in the sense that it doesn't really show you the dominant harmony. But this is the one that was in the book as useful in that context, and it does work. All right, and next we have the D. That's really hard to play. Really hard to play. And obviously we got a flat 9 right away. Then we have a sharp 5. And then we have a 6th. And so this can't be altered. Like before you would go, no, flat 9, like altered. All right. Oh, a sharp 5, like altered. This is all going good. But that B string ruins it for us because we can't do this for altered. We're gonna have a 6. But you could do it flat 9, sharp 5. No, I can't even do it for leading or for dominant diminished because it should have a 5 there, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's something I'm missing. It could be possibly for dominant diminished, but I would say that's a no-go. And then we have a D sharp. That's our last one because after that we're back. We started at E. D sharp is actually the root here in our shape, so we don't have to play it on the A string. We just play our shape. And in this case, we'd have a 5th. Flat 6, and then we'd have a 4. So this really, I don't think this would work. At least not as how it sounds. I mean, it obviously works but not with the D sharp thought of as the root. We'd have a root, a 5th, a flat 5, or sorry, flat 6, I guess, because we want to call it a 5th and a sharp 5. So a flat 6, and then a 4th, and if it's got like a 4th, a flat 6th in it, and a 5th. Could be Aeolian or something, but we don't have any 3rd, so it's not really showing us what we're dealing with as far as there's no real firm tonality. So from all of this, the ones that were most useful, first of all, the ones we already knew, as far as like, you know, from the 3rd would be this, from the root would be this, that'd be minor. From the if the high note were the 6th, we would have this. Major, so there's other second major option. And if it were C sharp, we would have that, which would be for a dominant chord, like a dominant option.